What's in the papers, Kujo?
I'll start with the news center.
Okay.
Women in poultry, FSRP to serve free grilled chicken to promote local poultry. FSRP is the Food Systems Resilience Program of the World Bank, being implemented with MOFA. There's a photo of the governor of the Bank of Ghana and the finance minister on the front page with the IMF MD, and the caption says IMF chief praises Dr. Forson for economic reform efforts. Political parties to demonstrate against CJ suspension. Okwe report findings reviewed and revoked Tokonu's suspension. This is the GBA.
Now, the Business and Financial Times comes with a story that I know you'd be interested in. It says, "As new tour boss define president's directive." You know, the executive secretary to the president had indicated that there would be no extension of contract for persons who are retiring. Now, according to the story, revenue performance seeing downward trends and concerns mount over non-compliance with president's directives. And it will surprise you, Kujo. I have seen letters where people who retired on the 26th of March, attaining the age of 60 this year, have had their contracts renewed on the 1st of April, which is supposed to be a holiday, actually, effective 1st April. I'll just share with you this letter.
First April was a holiday.
Hey,
First May. You mean first May?
See, I actually thought first.
Which is Thursday.
Yeah, which is
You're
Thursday.
looking
First
forward
May.
to the holiday already.
I'm looking forward to that. 1st April. So this one says, which is not a holiday, I beg your pardon. It says, the contract employee who retired on the 26th of March 2025 has, at the request of TOR, agreed to be engaged in as office supervisor in the managing director's office on contract for a period of 1 year, effective 1st April 2025 to March 30, 2026. You shall be compensated with a contract sum of 18,659 Ghana cedis, 99 pesos.
So the president says we should not give people contracts, and TOR is giving people contracts. Have they sought any special permission from the presidency to do that?
According to the story, no.
Now, you know, when it comes to contracts and all these things, the biggest industry for that is the education industry. Almost a lot of the old Gs, old lecturers and old researchers get contract renewal. Some of these people would only lecture for just a day and be doing other things within the institution. Is it that our educational system, after all the Ghana scholarship, secretariat scholarships we've given to people to go and study abroad, after all the master's programs we have here, all the PhDs we have here, it's not getting younger people to take over from these older lecturers?
Well, I get,
because that is the biggest industry for these contracts.
I'll get to that shortly, because there are younger ones.
Okay.
But within certain fields where you are expected to mentor young ones, you can maintain. So there's that, dispensation for the teachers.
Yeah.
So that is done, and that is how come even with the teachers, up to 65, then eventually to 70 if you're a professor.
Yeah.
But for me, the fact that in an institution like TOR, a supervisor in the managing director's office.
That road there.
So because of that, Dr. Yusuf Suleiman, who is acting MD, extends contract. And not long ago there was this whole conversation about TOR having made profit of 2.9 million.
Yeah.
That was in February.
Supervisor in the MD's office.
In March, TOR actually made their total sales amounted to some $2.5 million. Now, what is happening is that in April, so far, from what I see so far, they're not doing well. They're making less than $1 million.
We need to put our lenses on TOR.
Exactly.
And a business also like GNPC as well. Those businesses can change a lot when it comes to our energy sector. So we need to put our lenses on those businesses to ensure they do the right things.
And we're going to be doing that. We're going to be following up on TOR because we believe that a lot of things must change at that entity. Anyway, let's get into other stories.
The new finder. Okay, so we did the news center earlier. This is the new finder. IMF projects 4% growth rate for Ghana in 2025. Richard Ni Amakwe set to retire and showcase true African identity. This is Wiala. talking about.
Somebody's going to retire. You know, when I was at the university, my plan was to retire at 40.
Yes, and eat what? You want to retire at 40 and eat what?
Now you understand.
Yes.
But some people can do that. I mean, you can do that. Recently, we've been trying to understand the Gen Zs. And
You want to retire at 40 and eat
no,
what?
past 40, I'm still here.
Let me tell you why you can't retire early. Look at even our presidents. When they cannot. We want to retire and eat what?
Yes, so I'm still on course. That was
even the older politicians can't retire for the younger ones to govern the country.
Well,
you are not making any money. You want to retire?
Oh, I said when I was young
What's salary
at the university, my plan 40 years retirement. You know when my colleagues used to say, "Well," I said, by 40 I retire.
Oh, but by 50, they let's retire.
Oh, 50 is
by 50,
50 is attainable. 50 is attainable.
Yes, as Akwabwa said. Obi I both 50 and now Boma no. Yeah, Boma 50.
Oh no, 50 is attainable.
Yes, 50
we are working towards 50. Now,
yes.
The Daily Graphic says Boku conflict is a national wound. Let's treat it with urgency. That's UEW Chancellor. So, the Chancellor of the University of Education, Nenyi Gate, the 7th is appealed to the government and other actors in Boku conflict to pursue efforts towards lasting peace with urgency. Over 50,000 teachers receive promotions. Kenneth Japan urges amnesty for former party members. He's also joined the thank you tour. Yes, he wants to be president, and so you don't let someone go and you stay in Accra. So he's also on the tour. IMF chief praises Ghana's latest economic reform efforts. Economic diplomacy. Ghana's under 15 girls win CAF Africa Schools Football Championship.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice. And they'll receive a cash prize of $300,000.
Nice.
Oh, that's good for the young girls. Oh, that's good. We should train them.
So from under 15 they go to under 17, under 19, then they progress out to Black Queens and win as the World Cup. You know.
Yeah. Back page also, Coach Zito off to winning start with fantabulous Asante Kotoko. Yes, and so Kotoko beat Ghana.
So you sacked your other coach and the new one got a win for you.
Yes. Karim Zito.
Yes,
He's the man.
Yes.
Karim Zito is the man.
Fabulous.
The best.
Let's go to the Ghanaian publisher. Arrogance, cost of living, sunk NPP. This is Dr. Baumia speaking during the thank you tour. 4 parties to demonstrate against CJ suspension. Catherine Afeku is on the front page. Afeku fires up Tescon to lead NPP's comeback. And huge attendance at second Ofie Market Days. Samia Oku pledges loans extension services. This market day interests me because it's in my area where I farm. And last month they organized one. It was big. And on Saturday they organized one. It was bigger. Even though it rained, a lot of farmers and a lot of people went there to farm. And this is enabling the space. So congrats to Samia Oku and the team that is behind this market day.
Could you, one of the reasons I always advocate a business retention and expansion program in this country is that certain businesses only need markets to thrive. Others need advisory services. Some would need funds. Some would need capacity building. But when you know what the needs of the businesses are, is how you can help them. Unfortunately, all we do is to say government is set up this and that's the end of it. The districts must have business retention and expansion units or business advisory services units within the districts and actually find out the businesses within the district, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and how they can assist them. So today, the Ofie market doing well because for some businesses, all they need is the market.
The Koro people also organize Koro Business Forum, Ashanti Fest, Impoho Business.
Yes, we are thinking about it.
Then we keep growing.
Have one in
you know the interesting thing with the districts, what you are saying, if you read the composite budgets of the districts and the medium-term development frameworks of the various districts, they do an economic analysis of the districts. So let's say Saboba district, we do A, B, C, D. This district, we do that. That just remains literature. But the structures to be built around that literature to enable the growth, you hardly find them. So who is the district economic officer? Who is the district business development, whatever? Where is that office where if I'm a person within the district and I have maybe 1 million cedis and I want to, or a person outside the district, I walk to this office and you have all the data, you can do all the hand holding to enable me to set up and employ people. We need to do better in that regard.
Yes, and the Ghanaian Times says localizing natural resources exploration management framework out soon. President Mahama, philanthropist, donates 200,000 to Akosombo Dam flood victims. Grant amnesty to dismissed aggrieved NPP members, Kennedy and Japan. And soldiers allegedly opened fire on mourners, killing one and injuring three others. So we're told that a solemn funeral procession turned into a scene of horror when soldiers in a military vehicle allegedly opened fire on a group of mourners on their way to the cemetery, killing one of them and injuring three others near Nyinehin in the Etrima Mponia district in the Ashanti region. And we're told that the incident occurred around 11 a.m. on Thursday when soldiers in a military vehicle with the registration number here 73 GA39 accosted that mourner. Sad one.
Very sad one. Now let me go to the center spread of the news center, Winston. There's a big issue in this country. A lot of people owned by the states are saying that they are not being paid. Institutions are not getting their funds released to them. There's also the issue of DDEP and investors we owe. Now, the finance minister has unveiled plans to tackle 2024 payables. And the story in the center spread of the news center says the finance minister, Dr. Atuforsen, has outlined a comprehensive plan to investors aimed at addressing the country's large accumulation of government payables in 2024. Now, at the heart of the plan is a government-commissioned audit of all outstanding payables and commitments. The Ministry of Finance has engaged the Auditor General alongside two independent audit firms for an intensive 8-week review. And my question on this, if we relate it to some of the trending stories, especially the year Zoom Lion payments, is this part of it? Are we going to audit some of those contracts we have, some of those outstanding payments? And how are we going to ensure fiscal discipline going forward?
You know, Kojo, as a student of local government, local governance and local economic development, one of the things I've been concerned about is the interference in our local government administration by politicians. Look, Professor Kwame Nahoy, in one of his essays, said Ghana was practicing a central government supply-driven decentralization. I repeat for purposes of emphasis, central government supply-driven decentralization.
So we are running a procurement economy.
That's all we do.
Not a production economy.
That is all we do.
Now can I say, now can it central government driven
supply driven. Supply, no. Procurement. That's all we do in this country.
So it's like a Bakola government, Donaton government.
Because you see, there you are. You look at the fact that even though and the pillars of fiscal decentralization, you're looking at assignment of expenditure, assignment of revenue, assignment of government transfers, and you're looking at borrowing. Unfortunately for us, what we have actually done is that as part of our Local Governance Act, we have put in there a caveat that says the minister can actually procure sometimes on behalf of the districts. So what we have seen is that the ministers through the Common Fund Secretariat would engage in procurements and compel district assemblies to pay. So before they even receive their common funds, a huge part of that has been paid to somebody.
Yeah.
Now, how is it possible that a government decides that I am going to procure, say, excavators, bulldozers, and block for all assemblies?
So the excavators we bought for John Dumelo's constituency, Ayawaso West were gone. No? Where are we going to use them? That constituency has all the roads. So
you see,
how are we?
But you see, and that's the problem. So today, then you have YEA deciding that they have actually gotten people to go to districts, and then they'll be paid for by the state.
Yes, 45,000 people, and we pay consistently every month. And that story, I'm looking for the story in the newspapers, but I can't find it anywhere in the newspapers. So we may have to go online to find that particular story of YEA and the Zoom Lion payments. Over the weekend, the CEO for the YEA, Malik Basintali, said that they are going to look into that contract and the payments. And there's a lot that has happened over the weekend with respect to sanitation. If you remember, last week, Parliament's Committee on Sanitation also admonished the government or the state to consider giving 50% of the petroleum, the sanitation and pollution account from ESLA to pay Zoom Lion, basically, because they were saying that Zoom Lion is owed some amount of money, about 1.3 billion cedis, and that they were urging the government to pay, and that we should also take 50% of that amount and invest in pollution. Now, Winston, I've been looking at the ESLA reports. For the fact that we don't have enough time, I'll just share the excerpt from the 2024.
We'll come back to it.
ESLA
Share that
report.
one and we'll come back to it.
It says payment for the maintenance and of major landfill sites and other waste treatment plants and facilities from the sanitation and pollution account amounted to 505 million Ghana cedis in 2024, compared to 305 million Ghana cedis in 2023. So between 2023 and 2024, we spent over 800 million to manage major landfill sites and other waste treatment plants. The question is, which landfill sites? Which waste treatment plants? What activities was the 800 million used for? What activities used for the landfill sites and the waste treatment plants? What volumes of waste went into the waste treatment plants? What were they treated into? Okay, that is number one. Now, if you look at the breakdown, Winston, you'd see that we released 452 million Ghana cedis in 2024, and they give us the breakdown quarterly. And all this money, according to the report, was released. Now, design and re-engineering of solid waste and disposal facilities, we spent 74 million. We spent 100 million in 2023 on air quality and pollution, 100 million Ghana cedis.
How did we do that?
Now, if you look at between 2016 to 2024, we spent an amount of about 1.5 billion Ghana cedis out of the sanitation and pollution account on air quality and pollution, designing, construction and re-engineering of solid waste and disposal facilities, disinfection and fumigation, 95 million. Okay, and maintenance and management of major landfill sites and other waste treatment plants and facilities, 1.2 billion.
Which entity manages these landfill sites?
That's a good question. So we are spending this amount of money. Parliament's Committee on Sanitation is telling us that we are not paying the companies enough and a certain company enough. Recently, Ministry of Environment also gave companies grants to manage plastic waste. And these grants have been given over the years. We also have the plastic waste import levy and all. So where does all the money go to? And all these monies that we are being told has been spent, who takes the money? What is it used for?